What does a life coach do exactly? All right, cool. We're gonna go through and hit those things. When we can live life on our terms, on a holistic level, taking into account not just our business lives, but also our health, all of our relationships, from friends, family, our partners, the world changes. All right, so if you are a life coach or you're considering becoming a life coach, and you're kind of curious, what exactly does this person do? What do I do as a coach? Well, first let's hit high level what a coach is. Traditionally, I like to say that counselors deal with the sins of the past. Not necessarily sins, but the challenges of our past. Things that have impacted us, and it helps drive and pull through that. Coaching traditionally helps us deal with our fears of the future. And what we do is we actually, what are those things, those limiting beliefs, those challenges? How can, as coaches, can we help people work through that so that they can become the person they can be in the future? What's holding them back? What are those limited beliefs? But it's more future focused. We also help them with, a lot of times we'll help them with accountability by giving them tools and different ways to look at things. But the biggest thing for most people is, and most coaches have some sort of certification, and that's why we offer our certification at our website, lifeon-yourterms.com. But it gives you a bunch of tools to genuinely be curious and meet your clients where you're at, where they're at. So a bad coach is somebody who tries to force a certain methodology down somebody's throat because this is what they think they need. It's very prescriptive. People feel that. Sometimes it works if you happen to find the right person, but a lot of times it doesn't. So I think the most important thing as coaches is what we have to do is, number one, we have to be curious and really listen. 2 ears, 1 mouth. Listen twice as much as we talk. And with that, once we start to see where people are, I always call it looking between the lines. Somebody says this, but they're actually meaning this. Or they say this is bugging them, but it's really a symptom of something else. So how can we be looking between the lines to really try and identify what are the root causes? What are the root challenges that somebody's having? And that's where we help them dig by asking lots of questions. As you get better and stronger at this, it's going to allow you then to meet them where they're at. So I like to say that, and I've worked with CEOs for years, people all over the world, and I've helped big organizations transition to grow at just amazing growth rates, doing strategic planning for the entire company, but this applies with individuals as well. And I think that everybody goes through 4 phases: stabilize, visualize, strategize, and execute. Stabilize meaning if you're coaching somebody and all they're doing, they can't even have time to scratch their nose, they're in a total reactive state. So if you try and talk to them about strategy and visualization of where they want to go, it's going to go in one ear and out the other. So this is where meeting them where they're at is important. So helping people to stabilize and assess, you're actually welcome as a coach to go to our website, have your clients go to our website, and they can take the tool. About halfway down we have something called the balance wheel. Again, it's lifeon-yourterms.com, but it takes about 10 minutes and it'll give them an immediate assessment of where they're at. Have them bring this and give it to you, take a screenshot and send it to you. This is a great place to start to try and understand from a life coaching perspective how somebody's doing. Because it's got 4 different quadrants of relationships. It's your friends, your family, your partner. It's got your health, your physical, your mental, your spiritual. It'll have around your professional life and your resources, your time, talent, treasure. And then you can start saying, okay, see where that person is at. Because somebody may be saying everything is this and this and this and this, and you're terrible and all this other stuff. But you ask the simple question of how well are you sleeping? And like, well, I get 4 hours a night. Well, if you think about it, that's digging in. That person is in such a reactive state that they can't even take time to start thinking of where they want to get to. So when you can take that step back, listen, really be curious, and meet them where they're at, well, then you can help figure out what is the root cause. What is it that's slowing them down? What is the things that are holding them back? Because once they start to assess where they are and they can stabilize, you find 2 or 3 points to make things better, oh my goodness, the world starts to change. Then we can visualize, and there's a whole bunch of videos on this channel you're welcome to go look at and check it out, or if you're interested in doing the course or getting a certification, reach out to us. But When they visualize, and I suggest that you can go to the balance wheel and have them visualize what amazing would look like for each one of these quadrants. If they knew they couldn't fail, what would amazing look like for that? And that starts to help them realize where they want to go. A lot of us have forgot and lost the ability to dream, but if you can help people start dreaming and figuring out where they want to go, a lot of times today, this day and age, that's the biggest challenge. And then we can start building helping them build a plan, a strategy to achieve it. And then with ruthless compassion, but very candid, being candid and direct is going to help them to hold them accountable, say, okay, what's that one thing you're going to be able to do to start moving forward? And it'll help you to start building as you want as you go down the road. Now, one of the third things is, first, we meet them where they're at. Second, you want to be curious, compassionate. But you also need to be fearless. And it's the kind of thing where, for me, if I'm working with a high-end CEO, being very, very candid, being very direct. Now, primarily using I statements. So if I'm going to say something that somebody doesn't want to hear, well, if I say you should do this or you should do that or you shouldn't be, nobody likes to get shit on. But if you say, look, I'm going to be candid, so it gives them a warning, and say primarily use from I statements. Okay, so Miss So-and-so, love you, but I'm going to be candid. Or ask permission. Can I be direct? Yes, okay, that's what they're paying you for. From my perspective, I see this and this, and you're getting in your own way, and you've got this blind spot. Let it sink in a bit and say, what do you think? Now, sometimes they're going to say, you're full of it. But a lot of times, like, I need to hear that. Because so often people are afraid of that confrontation. But remember, that's what we're being paid for, is to be fearless. Not in a mean way, but in a compassionate way, a loving way. So when you can start to be fearless, then you can be really curious. You're going to increase and grow your trust level with them. It'll start to grow through the roof. And when you do that, it's going to be a lot easier to help hold them accountable. So the last piece is making sure that you have some set of tools in your toolbox. And that's where having some sort of certification, and why a lot of people like our Life on Your Terms certification, because it gives you dozens of tools, and you actually get full access to the online course that you can let your people go through and then work through it together with them, where it empowers people to say, look, I hear where you're at, meet them where they're at, and say, I have this tool that we can address it with this, or I can use this tool with this. And it's through that you're helping them figure out their journey on how they're transitioning to achieve that visualization of where they want to go. When you do it, it becomes the most rewarding thing ever. It's incredibly powerful. So ideally you found some value with this. Please subscribe. If you like this, check out some of the other videos on the channel. Share it with other people. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out at lifeon-yourterms.com. Thank you. Keep smiling.